Hi, good evening. How are you? I hope you had a wonderful weekend, didn't you? Oh my word, look at you. You look lovely. My name is Eric, and this is Eric Stories. Listen, I don't like speaking at you. I like speaking with you. Please make use of the comment section or even my DM. I'm on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram and on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button. It goes a long way. Now, Eric Stories is about perspective, ideas, thoughts that I have, even from books I've read that I like to share with you, and in the hope to just converse, all right? Converse, exchange ideas, so that your idea and mine become two, and I don't keep my one idea. So, welcome. I was in the convenience store the other day, and I had a lady. I think she was just messing around with her friend. They were talking about how cold it is. If you're not in Nairobi, it's very cold here. I don't know what the weather is like from whichever armpit of the earth you may be under, but it's very cold. So she went on about maybe dissing her friend the way she's lucky she's married, and her, she isn't. She's single, and it's so tough in this cold weather. So when I came back home, I was making dinner. I started thinking about just the common mistakes we make as grown heterosexual men and women around sex. All right. And that I thought would make for an intriguing conversation, especially now that it's cold and people are having sex. I've seen a whole bunch of pregnant people, and I know they didn't drink their pregnancies from the porridge. They totally laid down with somebody. Okay. In my home growing up, you remember Ridge of In the Bold and the Beautiful, the program? So when Ridge would be reaching out to kiss one of his many girlfriends, my mother would turn and give you the look, which was the international sign in our house for you are not needed here. And everybody would up and leave for their bedrooms. So I wanted to talk about common mistakes, and I'll share some of my own in the quests that we can be better and not make these mistakes. Now, it has to be said that we are all not homogeneous. We are different. Some of us are libertines, right? Some others are casual. They don't mind having any casual sex. Some others, I know friends of mine who wait to be in a committed relationship before they have sex. And I know also people who wait for marriage, or rather are waiting for marriage so they have sex. So we are all very, very different. But that being said, I want us to look at a few certain preliminaries that we need to adorn so that we can have safe, happy, and comfortable sex as adults, grown adults. I have a challenge. I'm wrapping my head around people who are comfortable doing the sex bit and not wanting to talk about it. And I hope it changes in our lifetime so that somebody you are going to open yourself up to would have the sense of mind to want to talk about the things that are important to you before you do the deed, before the deed is done. Okay? So, my thoughts. I think it's very important, and I cannot underscore the importance on this one, to discuss expectations around sex before having it. All right? You want to discuss what having sex will mean to you and him. Okay? I see a lot of arguments, even in my private conversations with the people I know, somebody having mismatched expectations. So the guy was thinking we are getting down and just shooting the breeze, and all the ladies thinking that, and the guy is thinking, I like her really, this is going to be a serious relationship. So I think before you unzip your pants, you want to really have a deep conversation around expectations. Is this going to be a one-time hookup? Zipporah, is it? Or are we going to hook up, then you go back to your boyfriend? Or are we hooking up, then you dump your boyfriend? What are we doing here, Zipporah? Is this casual or potentially an ongoing thing? All right? Are we having sex into a relationship, or are we just having a one-off thing? Very important conversation to have. Will you be expecting payment for this, Andrea? Are you expecting payment for this activity? You know, one time I was in Malindi with a friend of mine, and we were kicking it. And from their Justin cottage, we had expletives. These women went ballistic. About 3 women this guy had picked from the clubs. And the guy was either feigning ignorance because he kept saying, I didn't know you were commercial sex workers. I didn't know. And the ladies were demanding for their money. So either he was feigning ignorance, or he was just refusing to pay. So have that conversation. Does this mean that you are a Ben 10 and you're not really attracted to me? You are hoping that I'll carry you with my big VW and then take you back to my apartment and then start paying for your rent, Mr. Man? Is that what this is? Does this mean that I'll be paying your bills now? What's going on here? What are your expectations? All right? Are you both comfortable making this decision as it pertains to the seriousness of the relationship before, during, or after sex? You have to talk about it. I think it's very important. Discuss if they have any allergies or intolerances. This is so important. Say, one time again, I've just remembered, this guy, an acquaintance, took this woman out of town, and then they were getting on and really getting excited, and her eyes turned white, and the guy was almost chest thumping, thinking the way he's a Mandigo warrior. The poor lady was having asthma attacks, and she had forgotten to bring her inhaler with to that weekend excursion. So by the time she could string in words together, it was almost too late. So imagine the horror of the guy driving around in the middle of nowhere looking for an inhaler. You don't want to do that. You want to have a conversation around allergies or even intolerances. It's very, very important. This includes, you could be a carnivore and they are vegan. So after having this elaborate, sumptuous dinner and you've gone back to his apartment while he's vegan and you're a carnivore, you're making out. Guess whose face is swollen all of a sudden? Guess who needs an injection? Say yes. So you want to have a conversation around the need to brush your teeth very, very well and gargling mouthwash so that you don't infect the poor guy with some crazy allergy he's not scared to discuss with you. You know, don't you think? Also, while talking about intolerances and allergies, I think it's very important to have a conversations about no-go zones, all right? And please respect them when they tell you. Is there a place they don't want being touched? Do not touch it. Then on the flip side, inversely, if there's something you want, please voice it. Do you want to be choked? Say it. Say, I'm into choking. Please squeeze my neck. It's something I really, really like. If you like being spanked, say it. Just, bring your slap from high above and give me a good spank. All right? If you're loud, say it. Say it. Can you imagine you're loud and you're not saying anything? The guy goes back to his apartment. You guys are exercising mutism. You start being all dramatic as you only know how to be. Somebody clears their throat on the double decker. His old uncle. And now you are there saying the way, oh, Joffrey. Then you hear, how will you walk out of that place? How? Jennifer, how? You'll be so embarrassed. So if you're loud, say, I'm really loud. What are your living arrangements? I give women credit for this. Some of them ask, do you live with somebody? All right. Are you sharing a bed with a brother? I think that is very, very important. This has to be said. It's really, really important. How safe do you feel? Now, I've read and also from experience, they say that from research, when a woman does not feel comfortable, safe, warm, her orgasm is not only elusive, it's equally also very disturbing for her to be comfortable enough to want to get jiggy with you. So she has to be intuitively and practically safe. She has to feel both intuitive and practically safe. And you want to watch for that as a man. And practically meaning it has to be a safe space. She has to feel some type of, that's why women are wined and dined and all those things. So they can't just be needles and it's looking dangerous and there's a dark alley and you're hoping she'll be okay. She won't be okay. She doesn't operate like you, Also, instinctively, mid-section, maybe you're getting jiggy and she's getting excited and then she says, please stop. I think I've changed my mind. I'm growing a cold feet. That is not the time for you to clear your throat and get mad and go to the living room and start flipping the remote. She'll feel some type of way, Like, no, if you don't want it, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. You can sleep. That's crazy. You want to make them feel comfortable, all right? Even after having declined. Midsection or before or during, it's very important. They have to intuitively and practically feel safe. A lot has to be said, and men do a poor job. I know I did a poor job because our we are very different. Like men are on like that, women are on like that. But if you don't know, you think she's like you, and then you want to be on like that. And then she hears some noise, and then you're like, no, don't mind the noise. It's like, no, somebody's really opening your door. Don't mind the noise. So, no, I can hear someone at your door. That's Philip. Who is Philip? My dad. Now you live with your dad here and you expect to get lucky. That's not going to be very, very wise, all right? What am I leaving here? Discuss certain triggers. Do you have any past traumatic events that happened in your life? Maybe you are not into doing it in the dark because somebody chased you with a big rungu during the post-election violence, and there was pitch darkness and blackness, and you're not comfortable like that. Or somebody shot your left bum with an arrow when you're trying to skip a fence in your teen years, and now you have a nice hole on your bum which you don't want them to see, so that's why you prefer darkness. Discuss it. Then you try and reach somewhere. Maybe you can have dim lights. All right? That should suffice. Some dim light instead of either going full black or full lights on. That's very important. Very, very important. All right? Triggers. And then finally, I think it's very important. Get to know their relationship status. It's very important. Please, if you're married or you are cheating on your wife, let me know. I want to know what I'm working with here. It's important to find out. I'll make the decision, but I want to make the decision from an informed standpoint. Are you married? Is it a monogamous relationship you're in? Do you have a girlfriend? Are you cheating on your wife with me? What's going on here? Let me decide from an informed point of view. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Say I'm married and this is a habit of mine. I normally cheat on my wife every Friday. Then I'll be like, I'm sorry, I don't do that. All right, I'm also cheating on my husband. Then you proceed with life. All right? This idea of calling people into war and then they start breaking down and saying, oh, I wish you had told me. It's needless, especially for adults. Finally, as we wind up, I think discuss how you're going to prevent pregnancies and STIs. Not everybody is trying to get pregnant. Some people are just trying to shoo off the cold, right? And they're getting warm. Do you have condoms? All right, Joachim, do you have condoms? Are you on some form of contraceptives, Jennifer? Discuss that. It's very important. In case you react to latex, as you've said, are we both going to get tested before we proceed with this activity? Somebody else was telling me that a woman they were about to get down with said, I react to latex. And the guy said, what are we going to do then? And then she said, I'm safe. So are you going to plunge after she tells you she's safe? Do you trust him to pull out? As he said, that he's a warrior. He pulls out at 95%. He's mastered it. So at 95%, he's going to pull out. I think these are very interesting and needful and vital conversations that must be had. And I also like to think that if somebody claims discomfort around talking about sex, yet they want to have it with you, maybe you want to rethink that stance, because sex can be dangerous. Out of it can come children, out of it can come bliss, out of it can come very painful things like a very chronic illness, from your herpes to the HIV and AIDS to, gonorrhea or syphilis and so on and so forth. What are the common mistakes you think we could avoid so that we bring it up prior to getting down as adults that we are? Let me know in the comment section. Good evening.